Hey guys, oh my god, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, I literally have been wanting to make a YouTube channel for so long. So like, I'm really excited. I have been making stories on Instagram for so long, like crazy stories, and like, I've had so many friends who have been like, just make a freaking YouTube channel already. So I'm like, okay, do you know what? I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be fun. And like, okay, I'm gonna tell you like a little bit about me before we go into like the first kind of like first little conversation sesh. So basically, like, I'm not gonna bore you like, oh, I'm this age and I'm just gonna tell you like one thing about me that I think is a little bit interesting and the reason I want to make this channel. So basically, I have lived in 8 different countries. Actually, I'm on my 9th. The reason that has happened, I'll go more into that like another time, but oh my god. So sorry, how rude of me. The reason I've lived in those many countries is basically because of my dad's job, but I will go into that another time, like it's crazy. No, he's not an ambassador, no, he's not a missionary, like it's another thing. But I'll tell you another time. So the reason I made this channel is because I want to share with you all of the crazy experiences I've had traveling. Like, I have so many, like being chased by a hippo, what it's like to live in like Saudi Arabia during the before the time that women were allowed to drive, and literally the list goes on. And so like, all of my family and friends are always like, what the hell is your life? And they're always kind of like, oh, you're doing that, oh, you're doing this, oh, you're going there. And like, I just feel like you guys would enjoy coming along that journey with me. So I hope that I can like spread some joy to you guys. I hope you can enjoy my content. And let's just go straight into the first one, because there's a lot of tea, there's a lot of things to go through, and it explains why I'm here, secluded by myself in the wilderness. Okay, so basically, this is how it goes. So basically, I'm a teacher and I teach drama in Kuwait. And so basically, like, the way it works is like they put us up in accommodation with a bunch of other teachers, and so we all live like in a communal building, like double building with like a swimming pool and stuff like that. And it's really nice. It's like a really nice communal area, and it's just really nice to have other teachers around and things like that. So basically, you know, when the virus started like bubbling up, you know, and all that kind of stuff, Kuwait very rightfully started taking like very strong action. So they started like, you know, implementing all of these different kinds of laws. Like, it started off with it being like, you know, certain shops closing, being advised to not go out like at certain times. Then it became like, you know, more kind of shops closing, less access to things, our gym closed, our pool closed, and then it was like, oh my god, what the hell are we gonna do? Like, it became like very like reclusive, like we were very much inside. And then the curfew hit, and when the curfew hit, it was literally like, okay, like nocturnal people, like we're just gonna be nocturnal, we're just gonna like, I don't know, like just not do anything. We literally became so reclusive, like we would go to bed at like 4 AM, wake up like super late, and like just not have time even to like, basically the curfew was like from 5 PM till 4 AM. It still is, I think. And so I would wake up at like 3 PM. I wouldn't even have time to go to the supermarket, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing. Then the borders closed. Like, oh my god, there was I will tell you another story for another video about my friend who couldn't come, like she came to visit me in Kuwait and got sent back, but like that's another story. So like the borders were closed, no flights coming in or out. Yeah, so it was super crazy. What happened was, at some point, we heard like a little bit of news about British citizens being advised by the British Embassy to go back to the UK. And we were a little bit apprehensive. We started asking questions like, does that mean anything about, like, does that say anything about us, like what we need to be doing? And basically, yes, it did. And basically the powers that be, the people above us, told us that we were strongly advised to go back to the UK. Then 2 hours later, we were messaged and told we need to give an answer at that moment, in that second, whether or not we wanted to go to the UK. So, here's why that was difficult for me. Look, I'm not gonna, it's not even a pity party. Like, I'm not gonna sit here being like, it was so difficult. It wasn't that bad. Like, there are people in worse situations. Basically, like, a lot of my teacher friends, like the British ones, basically all of them have family in England who live there, who they just go back and they go and stay with them. So it's super easy. Company books you a flight, you hop on the plane, you go and live with your family. Like, capiche, you know what I mean? For me, it wasn't like that. For me, I have no family there. My family are like dotted all around the world. So I'm so sorry. Like, I'm like, this shirt was literally the worst buy in the world. Like, I'm never like, literally every time I go out, it just freaking like. Anyways, where was I? What was I saying? Screw my ADD. Most people could go and live with their families. I couldn't. End of story. Well, first of all, I was like, can you not give me a bit more time? And they were like, no, we can't. And they were basically like, they were really nice. They were like, we strongly urge you to go back, but you don't have to. You're an independent person. You can make your own decision. But I was kind of like, that's basically telling me like, you better, you know, beep and go, right? So I was just like, okay. You know, I'm gonna go, like, I don't want to jeopardize my reputation as an employee. Like, I'm just gonna listen to the powers that be. And plus, I don't want to be in, like, the Middle East without knowing, like, you know, whether I'm safe or not. So, just better go back. Can I just say, like, quick little thing is that Kuwait is doing such an amazing job with the whole virus thing. Such an amazing job, like, massive props to them. They've taken so many drastic actions, like, way more than the UK, and it's proving to be such a improvement because of that. Anyways, little side note. Moving on. I say fine, I'm gonna go. Like, I wasn't even sure if I had to take all my stuff with me. I have a piano in my room, a TV, but I decided not to. So I decided to go. And basically, I go on Airbnb, because that's one of the only places I could find to, like, you know, friggin', what's it called? To stay somewhere. And oh my god, I need water. One second. I'm like a baby sometimes, literally. Yeah, I go on Airbnb and literally, I kid you not, no one was accepting people who are coming from abroad. I was so stressed out. Like, I was literally messaging and I was like, please, can you let me stay at your place? Because I have nowhere to stay and I'm coming from abroad. I was like, I promise I don't have coronavirus. I'm taking all of the precautions. You can lock me in the damn room. I will not come out. Please let me stay. They were like, no, sorry, no. Because they're taking precautions and I don't blame them. Like, I was really stressed out. I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? My friend even knocked on my door and I was like, get out! Get out! I feel so bad. But I was literally like so stressed. I was like, where? Did I not mention the flight was the next day? They literally booked the flight for us the next day. So we were like, well, most people are like, okay, well, we're going home the next day. But I was the only one who was like, where am I gonna stay? So, long story short, like, I was almost gonna stay at this one place. It was like it was like a 2-story house, but like I would have the bottom floor. And like, there was a really nice garden, but it was communal. And I was like, oh, I don't know. It was a big garden, but it wasn't like that ideal. But so like, they were kind of in discussion. She was like, I'm a bit apprehensive as to whether I should let you stay, but I will, but I won't. And then like last minute, like I was almost going to book her. This place responded and were like, okay, you can stay with us. Like, it was literally so quick. He was like, yeah, you can stay with us. Like, he didn't even ask questions. He was just like, you can stay with us. And I was like, yes, oh my god, this is so much more perfect. I'll go into more detail why it's perfect, but like, it was just perfect that I got to stay here. So keep in mind, the borders are closed. So no flights are going out. The only flights coming in and out are flights bringing Kuwaiti nationals back into Kuwait and flights taking British nationals out to the UK. The British embassy is powerful, I guess, and we're the only citizens that can get out of the country. So we get out, we get to the airport, and it's dead. It's dead. Literally, we get there, like, high security, they're checking our passports, they don't want to let anyone in unless, like, you know, we've got the tickets. We go through. The duty free is empty, or like, it's freaking wrapped in, every single inch of it is wrapped in cling film. Like, literally, like, every store, everything's wrapped in cling film. The only thing open is McDonald's, and I was I was so hungry, and I knew, I'd heard from people who took flight the day before that there was not that much food on the plane. So I was like, get me a Big Mac, get me 20 chicken nuggets, get me 2 big fries, you know, I just ordered the whole thing. And what happens? I don't eat much of it because, like, I don't know, I wasted a lot of it. Silly George. we get to the gate and like they give us all the gloves, they give us like, you know, masks, and they like strongly advise us to wear. They're like, you cannot take it off. Okay, that's fine, that's normal. Okay, fine. We get on the plane and oh my God, I kid you not. Like, it literally felt like I was in a movie. Like at that point, I was like, I'm in a movie. I'm in a movie. You know how like you get to the like, you know, the entrance of the plane, you got the air hostess, and like she's all dressed like nicely, and she's like wearing makeup. She's like, hello, sir. Nuh-uh, not today. What did we get? We got air hostesses and air stewards in full white bodysuits. I don't even know what the hell you call them. Masks, like freaking scientists, like freaking lab scientists. I was like, where are we? What Netflix series are we in? Seriously. I was seriously like shook to the bone. I was like, okay, this is where we're at in this world. Okay, got it. Understood. Now I know how to live. We get on the plane and like it was a pleasant flight, but we weren't allowed to like, the plane was like virtually empty. We weren't allowed to like lie across the seats because of precaution, and like they gave us only a little bit of food. They hardly communicated with us, so it was like a very clinical experience. There were these two German guys that really stood out because they were like twins and tall and bold, and they were wearing like these massive like World War II gas masks. I kid you not, like they have the like 2 blocks there. So like, yeah, they had bodysuits, and my crazy friend was like, she just goes straight up to them and she's like, oh, where did you get those bodysuits from? I want one. Where did you get them from? And they're just like, we bought them. You're gonna have to buy your own. And my friend just goes up to anyone. Yeah, then we get down and like, I'm so surprised because the UK, no one is like, okay, hardly anyone is wearing a mask. They don't check us, they don't do temperature, they don't do freaking blood test, they don't do anything. And I'm just like, okay, all right. So they're just like, you know, gonna be relaxed here. I'll take it. So we go through, and my friend's brother takes me to the train station, which is really nice of him. And I get a bus and blah, 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 blah. And it's a huge palaver. I don't have data and I'm trying to figure out where to go. And I don't know how to get a taxi, and I'm stuck and whatever. Anyway, I finally got here, get to my room, and to be honest, I'm happy with my room. It's a nice room, and actually like it's in the countryside, and like the thing is, I chose to live in the countryside because I don't get to be with my family. My family are in other countries, like my family are all over the world. So if I'm gonna be staying in a country where I'm not near anyone I love, I have to stay somewhere that's comfortable. And the countryside was such like a big deal to me because I live in the sand. I live in like the desert, number one. And so it's nice to have like the fresh air. If there's any time that like it's a good time to be in the nature, it's now, because I'm not going to be around people. And it's just been so like soul enriching and so like calming, you know? So I'm really happy about my place. The guy is really nice. There are 2 celebrities that live next door, but I'll save it for another video. I'll tell you another time. There's a whole thing around that, like literally 2 celebrities living next door. It's been really fun. I did like a 1.5-hour walk all the way to Lidl, and every time I tell someone, I told the celebrities, I told the owners, and they're like, you walked to Lidl? Which is a supermarket. Oh my God. They were like, that's a long way. And I'm like, no, it's beautiful. Like, I think like English people take it for granted, but they literally have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scenery and stuff. So it's been really nice. I've been trying like so hard to get to Cyprus because obviously that's where my family live, but it's such an uncertain time. Like we just don't know what's happening. I'm sure like there's so many other people in way worse situations. So I count my blessings every single day. Like the borders are closed in Cyprus, so I'm not able to go back yet. I think they're allowing some people in, but not people from the UK. So I just have to hold tight and wait and see what happens. Like I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stay here. I don't know if I'm going to have to like move on at some point because of what I can afford. I just don't know. But I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm trying to do everything I can to keep myself mentally afloat. you know, I'm okay with being by myself at this phase in my life. I wouldn't have been a few years ago. I have some friends that aren't okay with that. And so for those friends, I encourage you to really work on, you know, setting goals for yourself and keeping yourself mentally stimulated. Like, I made a story yesterday on Instagram talking about how, like, imagine everyone in quarantine right now worked on what it was they really felt passionately about, worked on what it was that they never had time to do when they had the jobs that they never really liked, you know? And imagine we were quarantined for 2 years and then we came out of it like all having grown so much in the passions that we love. Like, wouldn't that be an amazing world? You know, it can be a really difficult time, and it can be a time that's mentally grueling and isolating and scary and anxiety triggering. So I really, really encourage you to set yourself goals, work on what it is you really love, and stay communicating with the people that you love as well. So I hope that helps anyone out there who is feeling a little bit kind of like disheveled from all this madness, because there are some days when I feel that way as well. That's my story for today, guys. That's a little sneak peek on the crazy stuff that happens to me, and I can't wait to bring you guys in on it. Like, it's gonna be super fun to do. Before I go, there is just one more segment at the end of this, which is just a minute of me telling you guys one thing that has inspired me lately. Alright, guys. Today's inspiration for me has been a show on Netflix called UNORTHODOX. Now, if you haven't seen that show, it's basically about a Hasidic Jewish community in New York. It's basically like centered around this one girl who is kind of suffering in that community, and she runs away to Berlin and, you know, tries to start a new life for herself. And she's literally been brought up in that community, and like every value she has, every thought, everything she is based on those very stringent values. And there's so many things she hasn't been taught about marriage and life and love and intimacy and things like that, and she's trying to rebuild herself. And it just says so much about organized societies, let's say, like organized groups of people who have control over other people and what that does to them mentally. And the reason it's inspired me, number one, is because she's such an amazing actress and she conveyed that sense of struggle and that sense of control, and I feel like all of us can relate to that in one way or another. And another reason is because so many of these communities are seen from afar, and you see these people who wear different things, and we judge them, and we don't know much about them, and we don't know the reasons they do things. And I really appreciate pieces of work, pieces of art like this to give us a really like realistic insight into it, so we can understand and sympathize and empathize with people who are going through these things. So if you haven't seen that, I really recommend you watch it. It's called UNORTHODOX and it's on Netflix. Alright guys, thank you for watching my video, and I will see you very soon. Mwah. Hey guys, okay, so I just got a crazy idea before I leave. I just have to tell you, like, what if there was like this new wave during this quarantine time on YouTube of quarantubers? So like YouTubers that like sprung out of the woodworks during quarantine, and it was like part of history, and we're called quarantubers. Am I the first quarantuber? Oh my god, I feel so special.